Hey everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having an amazing weekend. I am in my garden again for the chicken and garden update. It is kind of the last hour or so of sunlight here on Wednesday. Yes, I have recorded this early, but we just find it easier to edit our videos that way. And I know that you won't mind. So let's take a look in the garden and see what's going on right now. Our sprouts, look at our sprouts. Our sprouts are growing really well. And I've said this before, I don't want to jinx it, but the sprouts are doing incredibly well. This is the best sprouts that I've had in I think ever. So I'm not going to jinx it, but look, they're making some significant progress. Over here, look at this. The bumblebees are really going to town on our oregano, depending on what you want to call them. And they are having a lovely time here. We've also got some more, I think this is broccoli coming up here. I have decided that this is broccoli and over there might also be broccoli. But you know what? We like broccoli, so we're not going to complain. This is all volunteer growing here and having a lovely time growing. And I'm just going to let it grow because, you know, look, the bees are enjoying it and everything else is going great. The peas, my peas are still producing. Look at this. They are still producing because we have enough beans and peas and other things. I'm having peas like once a week and then I'm having beans once a week and kind of rotating what we're eating to give the plants time to kind of produce more things for us to eat. The beans, surprisingly, we haven't got, unless you can see any, I don't know. Let's see. Can you see any? We haven't got any actual runner beans yet, but we do have lots and lots of flowers. And so that's a good sign because it means that we're going to have some beans very soon. Same over here. I don't see any actual beans growing yet, but I think soon we will see. Down here we do have some beans growing. Our bush beans are growing and they are very tasty. The sunflower that shouldn't be here, I think this time next week it will be in flower and I cannot wait to see what type of sunflower it is. Because I don't know, it was in the packet of the seeds that we got and it got planted with the pumpkins and all of the gourds and the squashes. And so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. The actual pumpkins, the Halloween pumpkins though, they're really they're making a break for it. And you know what? I'm just going to let them. I cut this recently, last weekend, in fact, just a few days ago, and it's doing great. And then in here, look, you just see the pumpkin patch is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm just going to let it do its thing. I think my fava beans, my broad beans, are pretty much done for the season. They've kind of stopped doing much. They are expensive. And I was talking to my mum the other day and she was saying they're expensive in the shops. And she thinks they're expensive in the shops because they're not a high yielding plant. They don't produce high numbers. They just produce sort of a few and then they're done. What we do not have a problem with in terms of yield is our raspberries. Look at this. Our raspberries are doing incredibly well. That one is not quite ripe, but still pretty tasty. Other than the fly that tried to get in my mouth just then. But these raspberries have been great. This is my best year of raspberries. They just keep producing. Look, one hiding in there, look. And I can come out here in the morning and I can get raspberries for breakfast to have with, you know, some yogurt or some muesli or whatever. At lunchtime today, after I'd worked out, I came out here and I probably picked about 20 raspberries from this bush, from this little bit, and had them with some yogurt, and it was really nice. Or yogurt, depending on where you live in the world and how you think that word should be pronounced. We've got some more strawberries coming, which I'm very happy about. New strawberries. And also, of course, the chickens. Now Charlie's probably going to come after my toes because he doesn't like me not having anything on my feet, and he gets kind of aggressive around sandals. He thinks that's a thing he can just attack because boys or something. And the other thing is the chickens got some fresh bedding this week, and half of it is already in their run because that's what they do. Anyway, let's take a look inside and see what's going on with the tomatoes. Now, for some reason this year, I've decided I'm terrible at cucumbers. I have grown cucumbers before and been very successful with them. This year, the cucumbers they're just having a bad time of it. I don't know if it's the soil, I don't know if it's that side or what, but meh. But look, I am going to have some lovely red tomatoes soon. These are stew peas. They will probably be red in a couple of days. So that will be lovely. Some nice slicer heirloom tomatoes. I also need to, go through and make sure that the rest of these tomatoes are properly staked. That's one of my jobs for this weekend. Some of you said I should probably cut some of the runners off. Probably right. It will make things grow a little bit happier and everything will be happy. But I'm just blown away at how wonderful this greenhouse has been this year. It's been really nice to have it up. And it also provides some shade to part of the garden so that the vegetable garden doesn't get too hot, which is good. It also prevents people from looking. We had a kind of a scary incident a couple of days ago where random people drove their truck onto our property and said that they'd run out of gas. Could we give them some gas? And we don't have gas here, obviously, because everything is electric. And I said no, and I shut the door. And then they just got in their truck, started it up and drove off, which seems a bit weird. They didn't know that I have security cameras. But look, it's late in the evening. It's like nearly 8 o'clock, and the bees are still doing incredibly hard work, collecting all of the absolute nectar they can, all of the pollen, and having a lovely time of it. Coming back and watching the bees in the evening is just, they're at it late in the night and then first thing in the morning every day right now. And we've got so many wonderful sunflowers. It is really lovely to see. I don't normally talk much about my houseplants, but I'm going to today, because one of my houseplants, chocolate cherry, is this is a geranium, and it's got this lovely kind of purpley flower, and it's starting to come in. And one of my other geraniums is coming in. I only have 4 geraniums right now, but they're all 4 of them are making some really nice, really pretty flowers and foliage right now. And that's a really nice thing at this time of year, just to see how much they change from kind of winter when they're kind of boring without many leaves on to now. It's just really, really pretty to watch. But you know what? You know what's going to be ready to eat very soon? The apples. Give you a kind of a hand comparison. They're getting chonky. I think we may have eaten one of these by this time next week. I can't see any windfalls on the ground yet. Oh, there's one down there. I can't see many windfalls yet, but I think we will have some soon. And then over here, same thing. Look, some of these tomatoes. Yes, this is a tomato, clearly. Some of these apples, it's been a long day. Some of these apples are getting, sizable with chunk. And when they get sizable with chunk, that means it is time to pick them. So we're going to be making lots of maybe blackberry and apple or raspberry and apple jam. I haven't even taken you over to the old apple trees. There's one over there, and then there's one behind my vegetable patch. They are all doing incredibly well as well. If you are enjoying your garden, tell me, where are your apples at? If you have apples, what is growing? What is not growing? What am I doing wrong with my cucumbers? Why am I such a terrible cucumber grower? I love cucumbers. It is one of my favourite things about summer, and I haven't been able to have any this year that I've grown. I've been able to have lots of lettuce. My lettuce is doing really well, and I've had to buy cucumbers from the store, and I feel like a fraud. On that note, we are done with today's video. If you have comments, drop us a polite note below in the Discord chat room, on Mastodon, or if you're a Patreon supporter, you can leave a comment there. If you want more, subscribe, hit the bell, and follow the link below to regularly support us with a YouTube membership or a Patreon subscription. You'll also find links to our Ko-fi, Bitcoin, and Swag store, as well as that aforementioned Mastodon server. Scrolling on my right is the list of amazing charged up supporters, and shout outs go out to our V2G Patreon supporters. They are Pedro Mora Pinheiro, Alan Tupper, Andrew Martin, Bennett Elder, Brophy Wolf, Chris Maxwell, Cyprian Laplace, Dan Blair, Gordon C, Hey Asker, John Trammell, Kyle Fox, Mark Eggleton, Peter Dillinger, Regine Fellows, Sean Tucker, Stephen Fremden, Stephen Williams, Tasla in the Gong, Paul Bricknell, Tony Moss, Carl Hodgson, Chris the Centaur, Denny Hyde, Lance Schall, Linda Irish, Mike Weeder, and Paul Nelson. And finally, a big thanks to our off-grid supporters. They are Paul Conway, Kevin Burridge, Stephen O'Donoghue, Jim Burness, Robert Flannery, Aaron Hahn, Ellery Hensley, Rory Litwin, JP Fagerback, Dave Kitchen, Andrew Glenn, Anonymous Freak, even Chris and Michael Johnson, Clay Witt, CPU Freak 101, that's why I screwed that up, Eric Knack, Joe Bresney, John Henderson, Laura Reynolds, Marcel Ward, Matthew Drobnak, Nigel S, Reggie Watts, Will Graylin, and of course, Ian. Don't forget that we make videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Saturday on our main channel, plus over here on a Sunday for our Chicken and Garden and Sunday Musing. And yes, I'm wearing the same t-shirt that you will see tomorrow in our Monday video. It's because I filmed the Monday video before coming out here and filming this. Anyway, whatever you enjoy next, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe, be awesome. Check out my volunteer potatoes. I've already had like 4 of these already this year. And until next time, keep evolving.